My name's Luke Draper from St. John's School in Sleepy Eye. Have you ever played in a make-believe world? Or built an imaginary city? Well, in my selection, Roxaboxen by Liza McLaren, an adult remembers her childhood when she did just that. Marion called it Roxaboxen. She always knew the name of everything. There, across the road, it looked like any rocky hill. Nothing but sand and rocks and old wooden boxes, cactus and greasewood and thorny ocotillo, but it was a special place. The road between Roxaboxen and the houses curved like a river, so Marion named it the River Road. After that, you had to ford a river to reach Roxaboxen. Of course, all of Marion's sisters came, Anna May and Frances and little Jean, Charles from next door, even though he was 12, Eleanor, naturally, and Jamie with his brother Paul. Others came later, but these were the first. When Marion dug up a tin box filled with round black pebbles, everyone knew what it was. It was buried treasure. Those pebbles were the money of Roxaboxen. You could still find others like them if you looked hard enough. So some days became treasure hunting days, with everyone trying to find that special kind. And then on other days, you might just find one without even looking. A town of Roxaboxen began to grow, traced in lines of stones. Main Street first, edged in the lightest ones, and then the houses. Charles made his out of the biggest stones. After all, he was oldest. At first the houses were very plain, but soon they all began to add more rooms. The wooden boxes could be shelves or tables or anything you wanted. And pieces of pottery were dishes. Round pieces were best. After a while, they added other streets. Frances moved to one of them and built herself a new house, outlined in desert glass. Bits of amber, amethyst, and sea green. A house of jewels. And because everyone had plenty of money, there were plenty of shops. Jean helped Anna May in the bakery. Pies and cakes and bread baked warm in the sun. There were 2 ice cream parlors in Roxaboxen. Was Paul's ice cream the best or Eleanor's? Everyone kept trying them both. In Roxaboxen, you could eat all the ice cream you want. Everyone had a car. All you needed was something round for a steering wheel. Then you could drive everywhere. Of course, if you broke the speed limit, you had to go to jail. The jail had cactus on the floor to make it uncomfortable, and Jamie was the policeman. Anna May, quiet little Anna May, was always speeding. You'd think she'd like to go to jail. But if you had a horse, you could go as fast as the wind. There were no speed limits for horses, and you didn't have to stay on the roads. All you needed for a horse was a stick and some kind of bridle. Then you could gallop everywhere. Sometimes there were wars. Once there was a great war, boys against girls. Charles and Marion were the generals. The girls had Fort Irene, and they were all Girl Scouts. And the boys made a fort at the other end of Roxaboxen, and they were all bandits. Sometimes in winter, when the weather was bad and everyone was at school, no one went to Roxaboxen at all. Not for weeks and weeks. But it didn't matter. Roxaboxen was always waiting. Roxaboxen was always there. And spring came, and the ocotillo blossomed, and everyone sucked the honey from its flowers. And everyone built new rooms, and everyone decided to have jeweled windows. And so it went. The seasons changed, and the years went by, and Roxaboxen was always there. And the years went by, and the seasons changed, until at last all the friends had grown tall. And one by one, they moved to other houses, to other towns, so you might think that was the end of Roxaboxen. But oh no, because none of them ever forgot. Not one of them ever forgot Roxaboxen. Years later, Marion's children listened to stories of that place and fell asleep dreaming dreams of Roxaboxen. Gray-haired Charles picked up a black pebble at the beach and stood there holding it, remembering Roxaboxen. More than 50 years later, Frances went back, and Main Street was still there. She could see the white stones bordering Main Street, and there where she had built her house, the desert glass still glowed, amber, amethyst, and sea green.